NaCh, Rabbi Nachman in his book, the Aleph-based book, the book that made him into a Jew, we call it Character. He says that someone who prays for Israel, for the Jews, with self-sacrifice, Messias Nefesh, everyone loves him. If you want to be loved, this is something you should do. Pray for Israel with self-sacrifice. So it's like this. Our holy brother Shlomo Carlebach was saying, how come you have two yeshiva students, boys that are studying Torah? One of them walks in the street and everyone looks at him in disdain. What a good for nothing. He's just taking from others, and all the garbage that they unload on him and hate on him, on this poor boy. And then other yeshiva boys walking down the street, and people are saying, wow, look how special this boy is, look how modest he is, look how sincere he is, etc. They're all praising him and loving him. So what's the difference between them? They're both engaged all day studying Torah. So he says the difference is one of them is studying to be a big rabbi, to get a good shidduch, a good match, and the other one is studying to bring the word of Hashem to the whole world, to improve the whole world, build the whole world with the Torah, with the Holy Torah. One of them, when he's studying, he's praying with all his heart for all of Israel to progress, become holier and better and more blessed, right? And this is people, their mazal, their intuition picks up on this. It reflects on the person without them even realizing it. The boy that's studying with his heart, screaming Tashem, bring all these blessings of Torah that I'm studying to the whole world, to all of Israel. So when people see him, they love him. And the other boy that's studying as a cold scientist, so that he can master whatever he needs to achieve. People look at him and they're immediately turned off, and they say, you know. So now, Baruch Hashem, we live in a tremendous time. It's a historic time. I don't think there was ever a time in history that there were so many, a new generation, a huge generation of boys, families that are being brought up primarily in the ways of Rabbi Nachman. Okay, not all of them are NaNach. There are a lot, Baruch Hashem, many NaNachs, but most of the communities have some type of rabbinic figure or something which completely distorts everything Rabbi Nachman's about. Because once you have a rabbi that's imposing his leadership, that's completely the antithesis of everything that Rabbi Nachman's about. That a person has to build himself and not be subject to any rabbi. Because the real rabbis knew how to do that, but nowadays no rabbi knows how to do that. So that is a big deficit, a big detriment. But even still, the Rabbi Nachman himself said about the fraudulent rabbis that they still have this great thing to them, that they do promote a lot of proper conduct, and you have many families now. Never in history, I don't think there were so many families that are primarily being brought up on the teachings of Rabbi Nachman. The boys, the families are all know about his bodedus and all the holy ways of Rabbi Nachman, to pray for everything you're learning, all the teachings, and they're progressing very far. They have all types of sub-groups. A lot of the boys are strengthening themselves in the ideas of Rabbi Nachman, encourage themselves. They're publishing publications of ideas and groups. There's very amazing things happening. And relative to the world, it's very small. It's talking maybe a few hundred families but that are loyal to they're loyal to the teachings of NaChMaN, which is an infinite drop in the ocean to the whole world. But it's an amazing thing that's happening, and it seems that they capitalized and they took for themselves the major this major provision, this major idea and construct of goodness. The Mishnah Navu says in the Ethics of the Father, what is good? The Torah is good, and they monopolized on the Torah. You have all other people in the world that are pursuing other things, careers, and media and all types of interests that they take in. But the real good, these little breastlover families, they capitalized, they monopolized on the good in the world. So the Gemara in Kedushin, the Talmud in Kedushin says lists a whole bunch of things that came down to the world. The 10 kabin, 10 measurements of speech came down to the world. 9 women took, and the 10th is for the rest of the world. Right? The women are doing all the talking. So the Talmud says 10 measures of 10 kabin of wisdom came to the world. 9 Israel took. As we know that the heir of Israel is machkim. It gives a person intelligence. It gets the brain going, right? And one kav, one portion, 1/10 is went to the rest of the world. 10 portions of beauty came to the world. 9 Jerusalem took, and and they list a lot of bad traits, which we won't get into. That 9 these people took, and 1 the rest of the world took, right? So you have all these character traits and constructs and powers and forces that came to the world, and different little groups or people could monopolize and take most of it. This is the idea I remember from way back that Rabbi Yonas and Eibschitz, a famous scholar who lived right before Rabbi Nachman, a very big genius, not on any scale of the real tzaddikim, but he was a tremendous genius. And in one of his books, he explains that the idea of Hercules is very possible. It's very true, because if anyone studied properly the ways of the previous science before we got into modern science and whatever was in between modern science, but in the days of the Bible, in biblical times, so there was a tremendous knowledge of the constellations, and to the fact that they were even serving them and worshiping them, because they knew how to draw from the constellations different forces. If they wanted love, they knew how to align themselves, and what minerals. They knew the whole business, the whole shebang, how to get cash in on what they needed. So he explains that if there's a certain amount of physical strength that's in the constellations that's coming down to the world, if a person knows how to channel and grab most of that, so you could create such a person. Hercules, I don't even know who he was. I just know he was very strong. I don't know any Baruch Hashem. I don't want to know any of what's said about him. But you could have such a figure that's just strong beyond the regular ideas of human strength, because he's gonna incorporate in himself. He's gonna grab all this power that was really supposed to be distributed to the whole world, and it's all in this one guy. So he's gonna be some super figure, some super powerful figure, and really that's what's going on here. That there's a certain amount of goodness that Hashem is giving to the world, and this little NaCh community is grabbing most of it. The rest of the world, they're busy killing each other in wars, crazy wars, famines, careers, money, fame, Twitter, TikTok. They're all caught up in things that in the blink of an eye, as a pass of a shadow, they're gone. They're just the emptiness and the real good, the Torah of Rabbeinu NaChMaN, you have very few people that are getting the shefa, the abundance, the provision, the blessing for the whole world. They got it themselves. So the thing is, these people, if they're learning, if when they're working, they're doing this, what Rabbi Nachman says, that they're screaming to Hashem with self-sacrifice, with Mesiras Nefesh, let this goodness be for the whole world. Then everyone loves them. Everyone sees the NaNach jumping on the street, dancing, and they're saying, okay, it looks like they're causing some traffic jams, but these guys, this is what we need. They're all loving them. Once in a while, you have a haters. We've come across haters, Baruch Hashem. Because without a little spice, it doesn't mean anything. If everyone said this is what it is, then it's worthless. You need a little, some people to remind you how valuable it is. But for the most part, everyone's like saying, "This is what are they taking? Right? We need some NaNach in our veins too. We need to get the intravenous NaNach right up in there in the veins, because the NaNachs, they're out there to. They're not saying we're taking Rabbi Nachman for ourselves and the whole world could go kill themselves in the Ukraine and Russia and Libya and lock themselves up in the January 6th DC political dungeon in Hong Kong in the parades and they're saying we're praying for everyone. Everyone needs this goodness. This is for everybody. This is for the world. We need everyone in on this goodness. And then you have others that they're cashing in big time. There's nothing more pleasurable than to read something from Rabbi Nachman that stimulates your brain, your heart. These emotions are very valuable. These are emotions that people get addicted to drugs because they're trying to get these emotions, and it comes drug free. It comes parental, not even parental guidance is beautiful, no strings attached. You could really cash in. So why should they care about the rest of the world? Let the rest of the world go to pot. Like they're legalizing pot all over the world, right? Let them all live in some type of delusion and craziness. We have the Torah, we have Rabbi Nachman, but those people, unfortunately, they have all that learning and the diligence and everything, but it just doesn't smell right. People look at it and they say, ugh, right? We need, Baruch Hashem, we're so blessed to have the teachings of Rabbeinu NaChMaN, to have the Torah and prayer. We have all the blessings in the world, right? So much blessing, everything. There's no one can touch this. This not so much blessing, and we have to try to pray with self-sacrifice for all of Israel, that they should all merit to this blessing. NaChMaN, spread the word, spread the word. NaChMaN.